My boyfriend of 4 years has never worked a job in his life. Long story short, I, 23F, and he, 24M, have been together for 4 years. I am in my last year of studying nursing, whilst he has never worked before and stays at home with his parents. Side note: we are both Asian, so it's quite normal to still live with your parents even at our age. This is not a problem. I have worked many part-time jobs, ever since I was 16, and even during my studies, I still work part-time now. My boyfriend was in his last year of university when we started dating. After he finished uni, he got into video games a lot. He kept saying he'll find a job soon, but he got more and more into it. He was joining clans and playing tournaments, and then he told me that he wanted to be a professional gamer. I supported him on it since that's what he wanted. Fast forward 2 years. We had been together for 3 years at this point, and his gaming career isn't making much progress, let alone a stable salary. In fact, it made hardly anything. He seemed depressed at times, as his parents would also tell him to get a real job. When I asked him what his plan was, he would respond by saying, "It's my life, just leave me to it. I just need someone to believe me because I feel no one does." 2 months ago, he decided to quit this pro gamer dream on his own as he decided it wasn't working out. After he said that he will start looking for jobs in August, and to be honest, I was happy with that because it seemed like he was finally stepping up. August came. I asked him, "So, it's August, are you gonna start looking for jobs?" And he said yeah, he will. Few days later, I asked how is the job search and application going. He got defensive again and said, "Why do you keep asking? I know what I am doing okay? Why does it feel like you're doubting me?" Honestly, I was tired of seeing him do his pro gamer SHT for 2.5 years and it going nowhere. He didn't even try get a job that time so he could at least pay for a mic set, a new computer, etc. to help him with his gaming career. I was sick of it, to be honest, because he kept mentioning that he will work hard for our future and save up, but I see none of that. At 24, his work experience is 0. His resume is empty. I know life isn't a race, and it's not fair to bash someone because they're not where they are, but God, does he need to get up his backside. He is a great guy, and he helps a lot around the house every day, but honestly he needs a job. Should I stop asking him questions about his job and just leave him to it? Or should I give him a sort of ultimatum? I'm running out of patience and chances. I don't want to spend another year hoping he will change and finally step up, as he might continue to make more excuses. My 15-year-old grandson wants to be a gamer. He wanted new stuff and he got a job at a fast food franchise to earn money. He will have 9 years of work experience by the time he's 24. You, my internet stranger, have a 24-year-old teenager on your hands. Is that what you really want? You know what? It's fun to sit around playing video games all day. That does not make it a career. Even those guys who have made a career out of it have had to hustle to get where they are. Your boyfriend is not a hustler, like you say. He hasn't even invested in himself to get the equipment he needs. His parents have enabled his lack of work ethic for 24 years, and now you have for 4. When someone shows you who they are, you should listen. Cut your losses and move on to a real man with a real job. Offering a different perspective, it could be a confidence issue. Maybe he is insecure that he doesn't know what he wants, thinks he will fail so he doesn't even try and just sticks to what he knows. This can be why he is so defensive. You can offer to help him review his resume. Do mock interviews with him, maybe that will get the momentum going. But if he still doesn't do anything, I would say break up with him because you shouldn't need to baby him. It might be a wake-up call for him too to get his shit together. If you want a child, adopt. This person is not an adult. Leave now. Take the heartache now and focus on you. Frankly, you should dump him. He'll just go from mooching off his parents to mooching off you if you let him, with a nice sprinkling of him accusing you of nagging him to basically not be a sullen teenager. You're neither his mother nor Bob the Builder. Find someone better. Just leave. For goodness sake. He's setting himself up for a life as a house husband, since he at least does chores. Are you okay with that? Can you support him financially? Sounds like you've moved well beyond him in your relationship. Sadly, he's never had to do it on his own, and now he's probably scared to try with no real credentials. Being defensive and angry? Nah, you don't need that shit. And you don't need an excuse to let him go. Sounds like he has a lot of catching up emotionally and financially to do. I, 42M. Had an instant spark with my sons, 16M. Ex's mom, 44F. Okay, so this isn't my first time on Reddit, but I'm crossing my fingers that my boys don't frequent this side of the site and don't find this. I'm a single dad, 42M, of 3 boys, 16, 18, and 21, and have been divorced from their mother for almost 15 years. I haven't dated seriously since then and honestly haven't been on a date in a good 10 years. About 6 months ago, my youngest, 16M, Ben, got into a relationship with Kayla, 15F. A girl from his class who he's been friends with for a few years now. About a month into their relationship, I met Kayla's mom Sarah, 44F. Now, Sarah is technically Kayla's aunt, not her biological mom, but has had custody of her since she was a baby and Kayla's biomom passed. Sarah and I hit it off unexpectedly well and I felt like there was an instant connection. We like the same music, movies, have similar political views, and she makes me laugh harder than I have in a long time. We exchanged numbers to be able to keep in contact about the kids and to get a hold of each other in case of emergencies. Most of our texts then were about the kids, but we had occasional conversations about personal things. Ben and Kayla ended up dating for 4 months before breaking up for some reason Ben didn't want to talk to me about, which is fine, I didn't want to push it. They're apparently still friends though and continue to hang out in their group. Sarah and I texted a bit about the breakup and I honestly thought we would just stop talking because our kids no longer had a connection anymore. But 2 weeks after Ben and Kayla's breakup, Sarah texted me about one of the shows I had recommended to her. We ended up talking on the phone for a few hours that night and have done this quite a few times now over the last couple months. We wound up grabbing coffee together one weekend when Kayla had soccer practice and my boys were with their mother and it was so good that I honestly felt like a teenager again. I feel like there's something between us and I want to properly ask Sarah on a date, but I'm afraid of how it will come across to Ben and my other 2 boys, as well as Kayla. I sense that Sarah is holding back for the same reasons as well. We both have great relationships with our kids and don't want to do anything to ruin that, but it definitely complicates things when our kids have dated each other. How on earth do we go about navigating this? Too long did not read. I developed feelings for the mom of the girl my son was dating. They've since broken up and I want to ask the mom out but don't want to burn bridges with my kid. I strongly suggest talking with Ben first before doing anything. If you ask her out and Ben finds out about it later, which he obviously will, especially if it turns into something, he will feel doubly betrayed because it'll look like you did it behind his back to deliberately hide it and because he will feel like his feelings don't matter to you. By talking to him first and actually listening to his thoughts and feelings about it, you can save yourself a fuckton of problems. If Ben and Kayla are still friends after their breakup, then I'm not really seeing what the issue is. I'm not a single parent so IDK if I'm missing some nuance. Are you worried more about your kid's reaction to you dating Sarah, or about it not working out with her and then it being awkward for your kids afterwards, or? It sounds like the connection is there, and she made the first move. Don't sacrifice a chance at happiness over what-ifs. Have a casual coffee date with her. See if the spark has potential to grow into a flame and enjoy those giddy feelings, dude. And stop overthinking it, lol. I'm a teacher, and divorced mom. And one of my divorced coworkers met and fell in love with the dad of one of the track kids she coached. I had his daughter in class when they ended up engaged, and I asked her if it was weird that her coach was going to be her step-mom and she said no, she was glad that her dad found happiness. Talk to your son. At 16, he should be mature enough to have this chat. Especially since your divorce was so long ago he doesn't remember it. Reassure him you aren't going to make it weird for him or his ex. And that he will still be number one. Duh. She called you ya dumbass. Ask her out. Geez, dense oblivious guy. Don't act on it until you've talked to all 3 boys then. If their approval is what you're waiting for, then ask them. Tell Ben everything you just said. The introduction was for safety reasons, but you've developed feelings. You haven't seriously dated since the divorce, but you're ready to start and you've really connected with Sarah. With his and the other 2 boys' permission you will pursue a date with Sarah. Without their permission you will move on to another relationship so as not to harm yours with them. Good luck. Edit. Fat-fingered. My dad married my ex's mom. They've been married for 10 years and it's been just fine. My ex and I were friendly after we broke up and now we're just like normal step-siblings. Go for it. I would definitely talk to your sons first before deciding anything. It shows them that you value their opinions. If you just ask her out first and then talk to the boys about it, why bother asking how they feel about it? You already went and asked her out, so it looks like their opinions really don't matter. It's going to be all about how your sons perceive the situation. I think they will respect you more and might be more accepting of the situation if you talk to them first before making any dating plans. Just tell him straight out, "I'm going on a date with Kayla's mom." He will either be weirded out right away, or he'll think it's great. Either way, it's more respectful of you to simply be honest with him. My friend brings up her boobs in every conversation with a guy. My friend brings up her boobs in every conversation with a guy. So when I, 18F, got a boyfriend, 19M, I introduced him to a really close friend of mine, 18F. We've known each other for about 4 years and we've had our fair share of arguments, but we still stick by each other and I really love her and appreciate her as my friend. After she and him got closer, I noticed she started talking about her boobs a lot. Even going so far as to say, "I wish my boobs weren't so big," in their DMs. The thing is, she has talked about her boobs with every single guy we've ever met and has always said my boobs are too big and would wait for them to say no, they are fine. She talked about her boobs almost every day. Anyway, I talked to her about it and she got upset with me and sent a long email to me and him stating she would never talk to him again because I accused her of cheating when all I said was, "Hey bro, do you think you could maybe reevaluate your boundaries because I feel quite uncomfortable with this." After that happened we made up, but she still wouldn't talk to my boyfriend, which I didn't want to pressure her at all, so I left it like that. Earlier today we got to reconnect with a classmate from high school via text, and the conversation went fine and it was quite fun. Then she started talking about how another one of our classmates was still with the gross dude, gross because he wasn't up to her standards, and she kept asking she of all people could score someone like him, because academically he was doing well. I had to step away from that conversation because it just seemed really rude and mean to put someone down like that when they hadn't done anything wrong. Once I came back she was asking him about relationships and how to get a guy and friend's name, big or small cherry. At this point I was getting annoyed because I knew where this was going, so went offline. I feel like I'm overreacting and being insensitive, but I'm not sure. Edit. Thank you guys so much for your replies. The ones with your own stories were very much appreciated. They were really very helpful. I really hope I was able to reply to each of you. I think what I'm gonna do now is talk to her again privately about the matter if she brings it up again, and if it doesn't get through then it would be time to distance myself. Thank you all for your perspectives. Sounds like she likes drama, attention. Really sounds like a classic attention seeker. Sometimes it's a way for insecure girls to gain validation and they don't understand how uncomfortable, uncalled for it is. It's a lot easier to hear, "Your tits are perfect," than engage in a substantial conversation. I would have handled the situation the same way. Her need to have outward validation from the men she interacts with, especially your partner, is entirely inappropriate and honestly a mark of immaturity and insecurities. It does kinda sound like she's drawing attention to them for approval or to catch their eyes, but Op could have made it sound that way. Just my 2 cents. She brings up her boobs because it's probably her only attractive feature since her personality obviously sucks. Who tries to draw their friend's boyfriend's attention to their boobs? A desperate, look at me type of friend. I can't even with this girl and I don't know how you can either. I'm glad you called her out. That's rude as fuck to flirt with your man and right in front of you too. Sounds like she really wants attention and is a little toxic. Pick me girl 100%. Search it up on TikTok. TBH, if your boyfriend is uncomfortable with it he should say so. She is a thirst trap that likes attention. SMH, hate people like that. My boyfriend is obsessed with my weight and health. I need some advice on how to handle this. Who's right in the situation? I'm a girl who's 5 feet 5 and 135 pounds. On most weight charts, the best ratio for my gender, age, height is 120,138. My BMI is normal. I don't consider myself unhealthy. My boyfriend on the other hand, is obsessed with fitness. He works out often, he's fairly skinny and has had weight issues in the past, but his main goal is to gain weight so he can be in the best weight range for his height. Since he's been focusing on his own health a lot, he started to talk to me about mine. Weight has always been a sensitive topic for me, and as soon as people tell me how much I should work out, how many pounds to lose, etc., I shut down. I weighed over 200 pounds a few years ago and lost all that weight before I even met him. I was really happy to finally be in the correct weight range for my age and height for the first time in a long time. However, he wants me to lose 10 pounds. He says 135 is too close to the 138 max weight for my height and that by the end of the day when I've ate all my meals, I'm probably over 138 and that's unhealthy. He has looked up my body fat percentage and said I need to lower it, and even though my body fat percentage on most websites says 14–16%, he says I should go off of the websites that say it's 18% and try to get it down to 15%. While I do feel like he does care about my health and it's not coming from a bad place, it's driving me crazy. Any convo about this results in a disagreement that ends with me feeling forced to lose weight or him being mad he couldn't convince me. My weight claims that it's the average or fair weight for my body. He says, why would you want to be average when you could be in the fit category? I just really don't want someone to try to change me. I feel like it would be one thing if I had health problems or was actually overweight, but he won't just deal with me wanting to stay at my weight. I wouldn't want him to ignore if I was actually unhealthy, but he keeps saying 125 would give me way more room if I gained a few more pounds to not go over my weight range. He says it's a turnoff that I am so stubborn about this and don't care about my own health. It's so exhausting to feel like I can't make him happy unless I go against what I really want to do. Tell him it's a turnoff. He's projecting his own insecurities onto you. You're happy with your body and confidence is a lot sexier than calorie counting and negging. Leaaveew him. This is toxic behavior. It's your body and you decide what you'd like to do with it. I personally ask my girlfriend if she wants to do diets or do gym stuff with me because it helps motivate me and because healthy eating and working out is good for happiness and your mood and how tired you feel. It just makes you feel good and so much more. What he's doing is trying to control your appearance, and that's toxic ASF. Saying stuff like you need to do this or that is not the same as saying do you want to do this or that. I am also guessing you're not diabetic, so it's not like you're in risk of dying. Plus he's talking about BMI and weight and percentages. He's acting super fucked up. As a 5 feet 5 inches woman myself, the max, healthy, weight for a 5 feet 5 inches woman is 150, not 138, according to every BMI chart I've ever seen. You're probably quite healthy as is. For the record, I believe that any person you choose as a partner is a person you agree to accept in as his condition. This guy sounds kinda controlling. He's trying to impose his values and priorities upon you. Hell no. You decide what looks, feels best for your body. That's controlling behavior and a super bug red flag. If he doesn't love every pound of you, find someone who will. Say sure, bring me to the gym. When you go to the gym, say wow, I never realized how many huge guys there are. Wow. I'm going to come here all the time. Make small talk with the biggest dude there. He will never want you to go to the gym again. Just another insecure asshole trying to knock their partner down a few pegs in order to feel better about themselves. I don't know what else he brings to the table for you, but life is hard enough without having someone around who is being this damn extra. I don't understand the rationale behind telling someone who's 135 pounds at 5 feet 5 to lose weight in the first place. That's well within the healthy range. In all honesty, he's probably going through that phase a lot of new lifters go through when they first start working out, where they overestimate their physique and attractiveness, so they start thinking they can do better than their partner or get with someone more attractive. Often when this occurs, they'll break up, cheat, or start trying to change their partner. It's a tools mindset and they eventually get humbled over time. Much of the fitness info you guys have is incorrect, so don't put a lot of stock into it. Your weight is fine and he's liable to give you body dysmorphia acting the way he is. Sounds like you might consider a new boyfriend if he can't accept you like you are. You sound fine.